It just occurred to me that I was speaking on mute this whole time. All right, it doesn't matter. All right, so what are we doing? We're going back through these docs. I was just mentioning that it's cool that you have a core and an ORM, and that there's like enough of a clear dividing line between those two components that you can get the best of both worlds. It seems like we should learn how to use this library to get the developer velocity when you want to use the full ORM, but you can still opt out of it, I think, and not break your whole framework while getting more granular control of the queries you're trying to write. If you have like something, maybe you need to write a really a pretty involved set of joins um, with template variables and that kind of thing, and it's just you're going to end up writing way too many queries. If you try to use the ORM, it's going to build super inefficient queries, which won't really matter for us in any development environment, but does matter later on. So it's important to get those things like semi-right before. It's just like important to know about them, I think. Cool. So previously, let's just go through this. Entry point for a connection pool echo equals true does what? Just one. Okay. We don't know. All right. So DB API. Data definition language. Okay, so this is still review. Okay, so open question in my head is whether this particular expression language is meant only for core or if it's ORM. We're using textual SQL here, but the question is, can we also do this? I can't tell if they're foreshadowing what we're going to get to for ORM or if, and maybe I even looked at this last time, I just don't remember. Okay, idea. I feel like I tried prompting for this last time, but I might be able to get what I want here. I just prefer to be given, like, it's always better if you just have to type stuff out. Just thinking for a second will mean that I'll remember this stuff for much longer. Um, through the to like say if and only if, you know. This is going to confuse this. Okay. My point is that we'll see. A set of programming challenges that precisely test for the info of each page. This means the material. This means material, yeah. Challenges if and only if it's covered in the, um, in the documentation excerpt. Each excerpt, like each. Probably I am a little bit of redundancy in this, but um, hopefully that makes sense. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that can happen. I would rather just paste it. It's worth trying, right? Like, should this work? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I want them one at a time though. I guess one caveat here is that one exception, you might say, is um, cover if. I'm pretty sure that LLMs know how to parse if and only if, so I think they'll understand that what I'm saying here is that please be strict about not including stuff that is out of scope. We can be a little helpful. You know, scope challenges. Okay, let's try this again. See, it didn't have to call the internet again because it still has that information. There's something interesting going on with the way they've programmed this now, with the different branching on your conversations, where I'm almost certain that it already knows what is there. So I'm going to do this just to be sure. All right, let's do it. Tempted to. I wish there was a nice way to do this. I think there's not, so we'll just do it the longer way for now. I think we can do this, right? Let me just make sure. Okay. Okay. Um, Man, this could really be a product, right? Like if we did good enough prompt engineering and you just created like a learn to code, but learn to code in the right way, like the right prompts wrapping this stuff is what people need today. You need to selectively make it hard to do things, but make the stuff that shouldn't be hard easier. What shouldn't be hard is finding the right path, the right challenge. Like you should just log into something and the thing that you work on should be optimally productive for you. But while you're doing it, everything that you have to think through should be things that eventually make you better. And there's some problems that you just can't solve in your own head. Like, what are the right tooling? Like, what's the best tooling to use? Or like, what just things that took multiple people years to develop best practices around. Like, you're not going to think that up yourself, and it's a waste of time to do that. Um, anyway, I didn't get it, did it? Okay, we have to do this again. Like, see, this is the problem. What are you talking about? Why would you do that? I just said this. Okay, I have to be more explicit. And I guess this is asking AI to do something that's very unnatural. It's usually told to give as much information as possible. Okay, we're doing this again. Dang it. Oh, this is rough. This is not good. Okay. Why is this so hard? It really is hard. I get it. I know what anyone is thinking if they're watching this, which no one is, but it's like you could have just been reading the documentation. You're over, this is what people call analysis paralysis, but it would be nice to just like have some challenges that make sense, you know? It should also include if I may need to kind of bump up to a better model to generate these. I'm just not sure. All right, let's try. If this doesn't work, it's just it would be really telling to think that this would not work. Is this included here? That's interesting. This is nice. This is pretty good. Okay, so we have, what are we trying to do? Not bad. Okay, so we have these three users. I need a table first. So we're gonna need the context manager, but let's just make sure we know what we're doing. So one of the questions is it better to do, it said to use connect, right? So what is a bound parameter? I think this is the like the question marks, right? Right? Okay, those are the bound parameters. pass in as a dictionary. Okay. See, this is why this is good. Okay. Um, nice. And so another question I have is whether or not it's common to use. Dang it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, good to know. Okay, so our goal is basically to create a table and then to add these users. I just want to try things iteratively, one thing at a time. Okay, so what we need to do, create the table and then sort users. Then we're going to do something similar, but just, well, not something similar, but we're going to use the same thing to retrieve. All right. Obviously, we just need a pass statement in here is what's going on. To create the table, something off of engine. I don't know, actually. What are my options here? Oh, it's not going to be create. So this is a very raw object. I'm going to have to do something like exec, I think. Oh no, so it's on the connection, right? See, this is why we're dumb. We don't know anything yet, so we have to like think about it. Otherwise, I just can't learn passively by like doing all this AI stuff. Okay, all right. Um, let's do. I think it's like this. So it could be execute actually. Let's just try something simple. What's the basic example? I feel like you can do something like this maybe. I'm not certain. All right, what's the most basic thing we could have done from this challenge? Oh, interesting. Yeah. Is that it? I don't know. Could that be it? So it does the rollback. This is interesting. There's like a set of logging levels here, it seems like, where we're getting these info. It's interesting that something like log level follows such a good naming convention across all languages and frameworks and stuff I've used. Okay. Um, hmm So what kind of things can I do on this connection object? Is there a result here? I think it's this. Okay, that's nice. Select one What was the hello world selection? As a string. Yeah, I guess we got what we have here is what? What's actually here? I need a VM with more memory. That's what's going on with these slow speeds. We're connected to that VM. What's the first thing? What we really have there? End of the day is a row. Okay, interesting. It's a row. Could this do it? Could we get something interesting here? I'm not really sure. Yeah. Anyway, we'll figure out how to operate on this kind of thing coming up. Okay, so we know something. Now we have to remember. Okay, think this is right, right? I could probably do it as one command actually, right? So I know I can do a create statement like this. What else can I do? See, this is why I have to do this. I don't know anything. Um, so I'm not supposed to have this. Mm, it's funny that I don't know how to do this. Like, okay, so yeah, it makes sense that you can't do this without defining the data types. I just don't know the way to do that. I don't know if it's like this. It's not that I haven't done this multiple times, it's that I just don't remember. But it's important to me that I do remember right now, because otherwise I won't ever know it. So I'm not going to look it up. Create table users. I know that I'm going to need, what do I know at least? I know that I'm going to need a name and an ID, right? That's what we said. And I recall it being something like, but I just don't remember the way that this is defined. It's going to be something like, I don't even know if it has to be this. I don't actually know. Just like a lack in SQL ability that should be a prerequisite to this, I think. But we're learning at the same time. I don't know how to create a table of users. I don't really want to look it up. Okay, what is my guess? I don't know. It's not like this, right? For some reason, this is my guess. My guess is that it would look like this. It's my best guess. Okay. Okay, we weren't totally off. But yeah, it was never this. Come on, dude. All right. I have some stuff backwards here. Okay, so my question is, will this work? Just this alone? What about without the... Okay, and there's supposed to be commas? Can I just obliterate syntax here? Is anything gonna bad gonna happen? Okay. I guess it's not necessary always. Okay. Okay. We need to go faster. All right, we're getting there. Could I do string here? See, we just don't know what could happen. We have no idea. Uh, Very weird. Not really sure what's going on there. Could this be anything? Okay, so that could be anything. So that doesn't mean that we're really doing this correctly. Okay, then we need So I could just do text. Okay, I think I understand. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, now I know. It's funny because I've done this stuff a lot, but I just forget. You don't until you do it, and you're forced to think about it yourself, which I kind of just wasn't. But so we'll do it like this: integer and text. All right, I'm gonna grab a drink. I'll be right back. Okay, all right. So we know what we're doing now, for the most part. That should work. And yeah, this is not going to return. It'd be interesting to know what this actually does, though. I don't think much. And it's a cursor, but is there even anything to get from this? Yeah, there's not, which is okay. That's what we expected. All right, no reason to waste much time on this. Okay, now we need a insert users. To do this, um, we don't need any of that yet. So this is my guess. This is how we would do it. There really is no better way to learn than this. You can't expect to learn doing anything with this. Like the right set of programming challenges are what anyone would need to like dramatically improve their skills. Okay, I kind of know how to do this, I think. Users. And okay, so it's something like values. Uh, I don't really have to do this, I think. It should be name, not user. Okay. And then I feel like people write it like this. I think this is kind of the way. Um, okay, and there's a way to do this with the templated, we said, bound parameters. But let me just try this explicitly for a second. Because I think I could probably do it. So this is just going to be new line separating. Then what we would need is, can I put an F string in an F string? I think I can. Why not? And then for that user, we just need their um, yeah, so it would be like this. Then you'd have I think we could do it again. This time I have to use this kind of string. Very complicated looking statement. Join, and here we would want, what do we want here? Is this right? We just want v for v in user.values, right? I think this would do it. Is this right? Let's do it. Is there a way to yeah, but I need a backslash. CI curly bracket, other than vim right now. Okay, insert this values user tuples. Okay, will it work? Really? That's the difference? Okay. See. That would do it. Okay. Okay. So if we did that, surely if I just remove this one, it still works, right? Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That's what I think. Why is this such a hard error to parse? I don't understand. I mean, this is probably not correct syntax. It's just what's going on. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and yeah, of course, this could just be, this one should be something simpler. Yeah. So I think this would do it. No, I think this is okay. sure? Hmm. That did it. Okay. Now we know. Okay. Time is moving. Clock is going. Still only one challenge here. One challenge in. Can't seem to do it. We're almost there though. Okay, so we can insert those values. Now we need to do it with the better way. And I don't quite know what it is I'm supposed to do to do that. So, okay, that's interesting. And so it will just expand. It's not obvious that that would work, but okay. All right, I understand. Um, yeah, doesn't seem like I need the semicolon. Use ID name like this. That's what we'll do. I actually like that we got a slightly harder challenge with different data types. This was good work on. I like that slight deviation from what I asked for from GPT-4o over there. Okay. It's so true. You just have to start doing things. It's so interesting. Um, ID, integer, name, text. This gives us what we need. And here, we just need to include something. Actually, this is not right. It's not right. Oh, come on. So we want ID. That will be, ooh, this one can, yeah, what am I doing? This is just going to be our users, right? Okay, let's just do that one. We're almost there. Oh, very interesting. Oh, we're no longer doing the print statement, right? Well, we are. What are we printing? Yeah, it's interesting that they become question marks as they're processed, which makes sense. I no longer need this. We were just curious about how to do it. Yeah. Okay. Um, cool. We're almost there. Um, inserting those. Now I just need to do, I believe, another another little connection execute with some text. And this time we'll just do it right here. Select ID. I could do star, but why not be explicit from users? No, that's probably not needed. Here is the result, and then we will simply print all of the results. All right, let's finish this challenge off. Okay, we didn't do it correctly, and it's because we didn't commit. You gotta see, you have to be committed. All right, we can do the absolute bare minimum. Let's write this to our guy, see if there's any modifications or things we should have done differently. Okay. Yep. Oh, that's cool. Was that covered in here? I don't know if it was. Engine.connect. Ah, it's really helpful. This is good feedback. Man, this is good. See, some like it a little bit of time, but like I've created a good challenge bot. This almost could be something like a leak code where I could set it up with an editor and press send and get that feedback. Like this is the future of that, for sure. If I'm ever not terrible, we should build it. You know? If I'm ever not just like several levels in the basement below par, just way down there, then maybe this would be a thing to do. Okay. All right. All right. All right. What do we need to fix? Well, integer primary key. Okay. Is that right? Is that how we do it? Makes things simpler, not harder. Okay, anyway, I think it does though. Isn't that what they did? Didn't we do it correctly? Yeah. Select ID, name. I'll take this advice. That seems pretty good. And it's useful to know that. Okay. Good with this. All right, I like this. All right, all right. Let's submit this. Feedback and trying to build rapport here so we get good stuff. Okay. This is where we are, right? Let's go to the next one. I don't know what we'll need. We may not even need this one yet. But all right. All right. We're gonna do this challenge, finish this guy, and then yeah, we're then gonna finish this guy, and then we will move on to probably some lunch in this stream and come back. That will be the goal. I'm also gonna go to the gym today because it's important. It's important, you know? You just got to do stuff. It's all a lie anyway. You got to do stuff. That's all I'm saying, okay? It's the hardest thing. Okay. Create a metadata object. So, okay, so let's define some terms. Like, come on. Let's define some terms. We need the metadata object, right? That's what it says. Metadata object. And what else do we need to know? And then also table column foreign key, and that's basically it. Anything else? Any other things we should think about? And then, what's the challenge really? I'll just include only this part. These, like this. No idea. Okay. Um, so what will we do here? We need to understand what metadata is. Then we could, we know how to now create these tables with an execute statement using the same libraries, using SQLAlchemy, create all. So we need to know what metadata is all about. That's what we need to do. Let's go with foundational objects for database metadata, known as metadata table. Sorry, I was thinking about something completely different. Well, basically mindlessly reading. Okay. The the SQL expression language. Okay. Okay, let's see both, right? Getting more coffee. One second. All right, we're back. Um, okay, so we're kind of understanding some of these things so far. I guess, the idea is there exists two ways to create the same object. Is that, hopefully it's that simple. Okay. I guess I should just read about this first and then maybe I should do the work of what we were gonna do. You know, 'cause if I'm just following like this, I'm not learning as much as when I'm thinking about it from the perspective of this particular challenge series. So, rows in the user account table, using ORM. Okay, I guess one user could have more than one email. Okay, I understand. Okay, try to move a little faster here. And you can pass in columns. So this is one way we're creating a table. Does this create the table in the database? Let's ask. I just need to know now, you know? Why not know now? Okay. All right, that's what we needed to know. Which was hinted here, you know? It was hinted. Yeah. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. Man, at some point I need to Need to actually go through my x.com bookmarks. All right, let's go. Shouldn't be so bad. We basically understand what needs to happen with the metadata thing. It's a foreign key. Okay, I just kind of know what to do here, I think, for the most part. I need to import, I don't know if I need that yet. Table, column, and is that it for now? Foreign key? Foreign key or foreign key constraint? That's the interesting thing. Let's find out why. What is the difference? Okay, I understand. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. So, and I had a second question came into head. So we need to actually have these types up here. I feel like I'm at the point where this is what I want to see. Uh, Sure, and string. Could it be text too? I mean, I don't know. I think it could be. What is string? Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're learning stuff. Okay, cool. It's like a hard chart, basically. Uh, I guess you wouldn't want to use text until it was like unstructured, just who knows how long text could be like an internet page, an internet partition. Okay, um, taking forever. Learning everything, trying to figure out how to do this challenge. We know enough. We know enough, okay? That's all I'm saying. Cool. So, last thing. I just call the object, right? Okay. Table, if we can type. Okay, first thing I need to do is the name of the table, I think. Did we get table up here? Okay, right? Because the name of the table, what is the metadata object? Okay, table is users. equals users. We have not a metadata object yet. Of course, I'm just going to write it like this because we're not going to write it terribly with an underscore if we don't need to. Single variable names whenever possible. Not single variable, you know what I mean. Single word variable names whenever possible. Users, metadata. Um, all right, what do we have out here? We need some columns. Yeah, we need some columns. What's going to be in the column? How's that going to work, right? We're getting there. It's going to have, I mean, I'm just going to guess. Name, okay, then a type, we know this, right? And any kind of constraints on it, which we do have. I believe primary key, right? Oh, okay. So Boolean flag. Very interesting. I guess that makes sense actually. Cammon. All right. All right. Column ID, we got to column name. This one's going to be a string. Make it 64. People can have long names. Okay? People can have long names. Let them have it. It's not going to be a primary key. We're just guessing around here, but it's not going to be. Yeah, I need to, you know what I need to do? I actually need to just remove everything off this computer, which sucks because I'm actually dual booting right now. I have Parrot OS because I was interested in cybersecurity for a second, partitioned with this Windows. But now, like that was before it's funny how like how little I knew, and it's just like it's really nice with AI has been for me a force multiplier and like being able to just try new things and understand stuff. And so previously I would like think I had to use WSL. I didn't really like that. I wanted to have a full Linux experience. I didn't realize how easy I figured that creating a VM with like with VirtualBox meant running it through the GUI because that's the only thing I'd experienced where you just have that gross window and you're like clicking around and it's just terrible. But I didn't realize you could just use the CLI and SSHN and it's just like some of those things are things you don't know how to do if you're like not a genius like I'm not, or just like if you're a dummy and you don't know those things. But now that I could just like ask questions, I figured that out. It's such a good experience. I feel like I'm like, doesn't it just feel like I'm in my computer right now? There's no big, like I'm not on my computer. I'm running on this Fedora, but like now I just want my machine to basically have tons of VMs. I just want to only use VMs and I'll just use Windows. That's awesome. I don't care about the GUI of Linux. I don't even hate the GUI of Windows. I just hate everything else about it. Um, anyway, okay. We don't need anything else, right? Full name. Full name. You can have a full name as long as you want. It's gonna be a text one. How do we do not null? Is it like this? No. But yeah, but see the point is that the memory is not good here. Did we not get oh, we didn't get text. How do we do not null? Nullable. Okay. All right. There's the users. Addresses equals. Okay, so I guess they did the exact example this time. Addresses. Almost there. Metadata is gonna have an ID just like everything else. It's also gonna be an integer. Primary key. Primary key equals. This is the foreign key. Has to be. Sorry, guys. Typos everywhere. and the email address. I would normally put the foreign key at the bottom. I don't know, that's my instinct, I guess. This one's going to be a string. We'll call it 64 again. And again, nullable. It's going to be false, I guess, for this one. I got a foreign key. Should I call this? Surely I should call this. And I should give it an argument, right? How do we do this? Interesting. Well, we're going to do user because that's where we're at. That's what we've done. User, should it be, that's interesting. Address. Generally speaking, should SQL table names be, gotta ask this question. I'm good with that. It's interesting that you do this, like, is it like this? And this one should also be nullable. I get that. Just makes sense. Okay, are we almost done? Like, this feels really easy. Oh, that's interesting. Metadata dot, like, that's different than what I have here. So, how does this work? So I think the next challenge I'm gonna get is gonna be the, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, this is better. This is better than having, even if I just use this, it would be better than putting these things in strings. Just from my perspective, the static analysis, dude. It's the, it almost is like type, it's like actually is typing, even though I understand that this is not a typed language right now. By forcing you to write what would be normally strings as these, you're adding, I mean, you're adding some level of, it's really like runtime protection over the things that you actually send out to a database. But anyway, all right. Yeah, so the way to do this, we know, is like this. Dot, is it create all? Is that what it is? Create all. So it's funny that you know you pass this object and the things get added. This was just the design. This is just how the programming works here. It's very fascinating. Um, can we try this actually? Oh, come on. Very strange. Okay. So interesting. C6. gonna resend this message. I just want that to be clear. Did I not paste the right thing in? I didn't. That's interesting. Okay, that's a good point. All right. That will be it for a second. Logging off. Didn't get much done, but we basically got to the point where we understand where we're headed. All right. Be back in a bit.